Earlier, I punted toward a tension that rarely looks like disruption. It usually feels like continuation. Things are still moving. Decisions are still being made. And the work is progressing. From the outside, it looks intact. Nothing appears misaligned. But underneath that continuity, something quieter begins to shift. Not abruptly, not all at once. Something small and almost unnoticeable. It all begins to take place of something else. And once that replacement begins, it does not reverse itself. This shows up first in decisions that seem minor. A small adjustment to direction. A slight accommodation to circumstance. Nothing that feels significant enough to interrupt. It stays hidden because each decision can be explained. It makes sense in the moment. It fits the context. It resolves something immediate. From the outside, it looks like responsiveness. From the inside, something begins to shift position. And over time, these decisions begin to accumulate. Not as change that is declared, but as change that is absorbed. The original direction still looks referenced, still spoken about. But the decision no longer traces back to it. The cost arrives gradually. Not as conflict, not as breakdown. The cost is displacement. Something else now holds a place where alignment once lived. And it keeps going. Because each decision feels justified. Each shift feels reasonable. No single moment feels large enough to question. And over time, the pattern becomes difficult to see from within. What is quietly taking the place of what you once intended to hold? Now, if we were live right now, if this is a live session, and if there were people who were in the room, they'll start speaking, and we'll start seeing some patterns emerging slowly. Some would describe decisions they made sense individually, but felt different when viewed together. Others will notice how often they reference an original direction that no longer matched their current actions. Someone might recognize how easily priorities shift when pressure increases. Another might describe a slow adjustment to expectations that was never formally acknowledged. There will be stories of leaders who feel aligned in principle, but uncertain in practice. Teams that continue moving without revisiting what they're moving toward. Someone noticed that alignment becomes assume instead of examine. Others will recognize how difficult it is to trace back to the moment where something first shifted. No one will call it misalignment. They will call it adaptation. And over time, that interpretation allows the replacement to remain. The patterns would sound reasonable. That's why they persist. And this tension doesn't need to be resolved right here, right now. It doesn't even need to be corrected immediately after this video. You could carry it back with you without retracing anything. Just notice what continues and what has been quietly replaced. And let whatever belongs to that become visible in his own time.